Bye, I'll watch your boyfriend. Why are you saying that? Do you think that's just rude? I'm gonna ban you. And I'm gonna go in his chat and ban you there as well. You can also do Thundering Mommy. So it's just Thundering Furry, but with Beto instead of Razor. I feel like a lot of 4-stars are not talked about often enough. As much as like I do think Sucrose is underrated, she's still in the conversation, right? People still talk about her. Same for Fischl. These are not units that people don't know are good. These are just units that people don't want to admit are good very often, right? Or don't like playing because they think that they're cringe or whatever. But there are actually units that people just don't actually realize are very good in specific situations, right? Beto is one of those units. Razor is one of those units. Heizou is one of those units. To a lesser extent, Conduct is one of those units. I think it's mostly these four. Would I say that Razor is better than Ela currently? The main issue with Razor is that his only good team needs Bennett C6. If you don't have Bennett C6, Razor is bad, right? But the thing is, even people that do have, like that have pulled and gotten a C6 for Bennett, a lot of them don't activate it, right? And so, I do think that Thundering Fury is better than Ela teams. I also think that Ela physical teams are better than Razor physical teams. Is a Razor team better than just running National? I mean, it can be, yeah. Razor gets interrupted easily? No. I mean, if you're talking about in the physical team, sure. Because his resistance to interruption is somewhat weak. But when you stack it with Xingqiu's resistance to interruption, he doesn't get interrupted. Do you build Heizou Crit or EM? Generally, you can do either. His numbers are like just good enough that the crit build is competitive with EM builds, but not so good that it's just that it like overshadows it completely, you know? If I were to do a top 5 most underrated unit, who would be the last one? Zarya? No. Maybe Kaya. Or maybe Barbara, actually. It'd be something between like Kaya, Toma, and Barbara, I think. Curious about Barbara. Basically, she's good in Nilo teams. Like, she's actually good in Nilo teams. And sometimes she's better than Kokomi in Nilo teams. Because she offers something that Kokomi doesn't really offer, which is mobility, right? When enemies move a lot, or they spawn far away from each other, or basically whenever you have to move, Kokomi just feels like shit. Whereas Barbara actually feels pretty good. Sack Frog kind of fixes that almost completely. I don't know. Lila? I don't think Lila's like a forgotten, underrated unit. And she's fine, and people think she's fine. And she's just... Sayu? I don't know. Lila's budget only. No, Toma's budget only. Biggest issue with Barbara is getting frozen? Yeah. That is true. Can I explain why Hazel's actually good? I mean, he's just good. Right? Like, his numbers are fine. VD's broken. He's a catalyst. With pretty smooth auto attacks. And a little bit of AoE. And even a little bit of grouping. Emphasis on the little bit, yeah. It's not the best grouping. Yeah, like Heizou is a downgrade to Sucrose, generally. Basically always a downgrade to Sucrose. But some people don't have Kazuma, and there's only one Sucrose. So if you want an animal unit on each side, then Heizou's actually pretty good. What about DPS Heizou? I mean, at that point, why not play fucking DPS Kave or DPS Kole? Like, I assume by that you mean like hyper carry, right? Like built with like Farazan, Bennett, Zhongli, or some shit like that, right? It's just not good. I think it would be these, and I'd have Kaya and Barbara as honorable mentions. Kaya is by far the best cryo battery against frozen enemies. Where he can generate more energy than a Sac Frag Diona. Or sorry, than a Sac Bow Diona. And more energy than a Fab Bow Diona without even having an ER weapon. And people often just don't realize that. Because it all reads as Ascension 4 passive. And Barbara is basically like actually a reasonable option in Nilo Bloom. And then these five are just... Like, I think people have kind of caught on to Toma in Virgin and like Curry teams by now. But they're still behind the times for him in like hyper carry teams. Not where he's the hyper carry, but like as a support. Yeah, people are starting to realize that a little bit more with Wanderer. But it's just, when you have a hyper carry, you really want to have Bennett, right? But some hyper carries just don't generate enough energy, which is going to mean that your Bennett's going to have to E multiple times a rotation, which is going to extend your rotations, which is bad. So having a character that generates pyro particles actually makes a pretty fucking big difference for Bennett's energy requirements. But people do talk about him with Wanderer and in Curry, so maybe he should be an honorable mention, actually. Yeah, I think Kaya is going to be the fifth one. What was the question? What are some underrated 4-stars? But I could make a video out of that. I'd probably do that like tomorrow or another day. I do want to get the Heizou Zajef recorded before this, probably. I've seen Fischl being underestimated. Yeah, but like that's not people, like I said earlier, right? That's not people not knowing that Fischl is good. That's people just not wanting to admit that Fischl is good, which is different, right? Whereas people actually just don't know that Beto's good. That Heizo's good. That Kanuka can be good. That Razor can be good. That Kaya can be good, right? Like, yeah, some people don't think Fischl is that good, but they have heard people say that Fischl is that good, right? And some people think Sucrose isn't that good, but they have heard people say Sucrose is that good. Like, outside of in this stream, when's the last time you heard that Beto's good? Right? When's the last time you heard anyone talk about Beto? Like, be honest. She's just fucking... She's been left behind. People just don't talk about her anymore, but she's still good. She's still good at the same things, and she's still very good at them. Is Neong underrated or just shit? She's not, like, completely terrible. You can do 12-second rotations with her, Albedo, Zhongli, Fischl. But it's generally just a downgrade over the other Geo teams because the Geo units just don't have that much synergy with attack scalers. I don't know if I'd use the word shit, but definitely underwhelming. How far is Beto from Yai in a Hyper Bloom team? You don't want to play either in a Hyper Bloom team.
Wanna beat me? Come back in a century.
That, unironically, this is what my mom thinks hacking looks like. Okay? Like, I just, like... like, I just... like, that's just... I can't take it seriously.